Hello all, good afternoon or good day. So, today we have a safety training. Our safety training is on what to do in the case of a bomb threat. So, it happens. One of those things that it doesn't happen very much, but which is why, in a lot of ways, it's even more important to go over. So that if you are in a situation where it's like, this never happens, well, we need to know what to do. This is why we review it every year. So, and most of the time what it is what to do if you find a suspicious item. So something that's out of place, doesn't seem like it should be there. It's got interesting, we'll go over it even more during this, but something that's just not there. Now, first thing you want to do is not touch it. And also maybe make sure that nobody else touches it, but then you want to alert somebody about this. But don't touch it. If it's suspicious, you don't want to mess with it at all. Don't go over and poke it or anything like that, Kind of the same as an animal that's lying there. You don't want to go over and poke it because it might jump up and bite you. The same sort of thing. You just kind of want to go over, see it, stay away from it, but alert somebody that, we found something suspicious. So, if you find a suspicious item, this is what how we're going to go. So together, we can help make our communities safe. If you see something that is suspicious, out of place, or doesn't look right, say something. A suspicious item is any item. For example, it could be a bag, it could be a package, it could be a vehicle. Like say there's a vehicle parked on site and you're like, never seen that one before, and it looks just abandoned. It could be anything like that, etc. That is reasonably believed to contain explosive, an improvised explosive device, or an IED, or other hazardous material that requires a bomb technician and or specialized equipment to further evaluate it. So again, it would be something, it could be ticking, you could hear a noise, there could be a funny smell coming from it, anything like that makes it suspicious. It's better to err on the side of caution than to say, I don't know, their car smells, or somebody left a stinky bag. You don't want to just pass it off like it's nothing. It's best to err on the side of caution and be like, I should tell somebody about this, kind of figure out what's going on. So examples that could indicate a bomb include unexplained wires or electronics, other visible bomb-like components, and unusual sounds, vapors, mists, odors coming from the item. Generally speaking, anything that is, and so there's an acronym which just means a word to remember, and the word is HOT, H-O-T. So anything that is hidden, obviously suspicious, and not typical. So anything that's hidden, so it's kind of tucked around somewhere, it's obviously suspicious. It's got wires, it's got mists or smells or things coming from it, and it's not a typical thing that you see in a place. You're like, that's usually not here. And so that will be something that's deemed hot, which should be deemed suspicious. In addition, potential indicators for a bomb threat are placement and proximity of the item to people and valuable assets. So proximity just means in the general area. Is it placed where there's a lot of people? I mean, I don't want to bring it up, but if you think about the Boston Marathon, when there was a bomb there, they set it there on purpose to injure a lot of people because they knew a lot of people were gathering in one place. So that's why if you see something like under a bench or something like that, and there's a lot of people about, or assets that, maybe somebody is interested in, then it's definitely even more suspicious. So, but please note that not all items are suspicious. An unattended item is an item, for example, a bag, package, vehicle, etc., of unknown origin and content where there are no obvious signs of being suspicious, as we've talked about what is suspicious above. Facility search in this situation, lockdown or evacuation, is not necessary unless the item is determined to be suspicious. But the best thing you should do, if anybody's lost a bag or something like that, Even if you really know whose bag it is, then go tell that person, hey, I think I saw your bag over there. If not, it's best to tell somebody if it's on site, or say we're at the park or something like that. It's best to let staff know, let staff investigate, and then come look at it. I mean, there was one time I came home here at my house, and I came home and there was like this big, like really wound up, like kind of taped up garbage bag that was by my driveway, and I was like, what is that? And there's like blankets around it and things, and I was like, here's the thing. And I went over and I looked at it, and it was big, it was bulky, and it did have a smell, and I was like, I'm not touching that. So I did everything that you're supposed to do. I contacted somebody, I said something, and I had the city come deal with it. I'm not going to tell you what it turned out to be, unless you really want to know, but then just ask me personally. But again, it's partially from this class, because they're like, well, why don't you just throw it away? And I was like, no, it's suspicious. There's a smell coming off of it. I don't know what it is. I don't want to touch it. I'm not going to touch it. This is not my job. I don't know who left it here, but somebody should come check this out. Just say it ain't gonna be me. So, you may encounter a suspicious item unexpectedly or while conducting a search as part of your facility's or employer's bomb threat response plan. If it appears to be a suspicious item, follow these procedures. So this is what you do if you do find one. Follow these procedures. Number 1 in all situations is remain calm. Number 2 is do not touch, tamper with, or move the package, bag, or item. Gone over that, but then after staying calm, make sure you just remember, don't touch it. As curious as I am, don't do what happened to the proverbial cat. Next, you want to notify authorities immediately. Notify your safety coordinator, program coordinator, division director, or manager at a community work site. So with us, you would contact your staff first, and then we would also contact who we know we need to contact. Then, depending on where you are, let's say you're at home or something like that, and you see nobody around, then you want to call 911 or your law enforcement, local law enforcement. Next, describe the item, explaining why it appears suspicious and the item's location. Now again, that's why you want to make sure, just like when I called, I didn't call 911, but I did call the local police department. And they said, it wasn't ticking, there weren't wires or anything like that. But you need to be able to describe it and say, well, this is why it's suspicious to me. You can't just say it's a bag and I haven't seen it before and it's sitting there. It's not that suspicious. You want to say, why is this a suspicious bag? But still, I caution on the side of safety there. Follow instructions. Supervisors and or law enforcement will assess the situation and provide guidance regarding shelter in place or evacuation. And the distance and protective cover are the best ways to reduce injury from a bomb. So you want to, if you find a package or something like that, once you've reported it, we want to get everybody as far away from that as possible once everybody's been contacted. Another thing you want to do is you want to shut off your cell phones. Because you don't want to accidentally have a bomb go off or anything like that. Be aware there could be other threats or suspicious items that you haven't found yet, so be aware that there could be more out there. Do not use any cell phones. If a suspicious item has been found, cell phones should be turned off if possible. Yes, like I said. Every situation is unique and should be handled in the context of the facility or environment in which it occurs. Facility supervisors and law enforcement will be in the best position to determine if a real risk is posed and how to respond. So, that is what you do in those situations. If you want to make sure that we all stay safe, the best thing to do is remain calm, don't touch the item, report it, and then you're going to want to get a safe distance away once it's been reported, and the location is known, it's been reported, safe distance away, make sure that you're off and away, And most of the time, honestly, once the cell phones are turned off, because that's what we're going to do is say, hey, everybody, turn off your cell phones. Then what we're going to do is, at least for as we're involved, we're going to jump in the van and we're going to go. We're going to get off site. Best to have cell phones as far away from it as possible. So best and the fastest way to get out of there would be to jump in the vans and go. And then we have a meeting place that we go to. I will tell you all about that individually. It's a new place. We used to meet at one spot, and now we've decided that if people are on site, then what we're going to do is have a place that we're going to move off site. And it's a new place that's far enough away that would be deemed safe. So we're going to try this new spot. Like I said, I'll let you know that individually. If we're out in the community, what would happen is once everybody's off site, because that's number one priority if something was found on site. Once everybody is off site, then what's going to happen is they're going to start calling each and every staff that have people like us, because we're typically off-site in the community. So say we're out doing something. I mean, anything. We could be volunteering, we could be working, we could be going for a hike, getting exercise, any of the things that we're doing. And then they're going to give us a call and say, do not come back on site. And so what I would do is I would take y'all home and drop you off at home. And then what I would do is I would not return to site at all, as long as it's not safe, and I would just take the van to my home and keep it there, probably even overnight if needed, just to make sure that everything's safe. But again, we have to take these things very seriously. So please mark down all these steps. Remain calm. Worst thing to do is panic and get everybody in a panic. People might get the wrong idea and try to do something with a suspicious item, which we don't want to do. And then, of course, we're going to report it. We're going to describe it. We're going to get off site, turn off our cell phones, get far enough away, and make sure that everybody's safe. So they seem at the time to be difficult steps. But once we take a step back, and that's why the number one step is the most important. You remain calm and you assess the situation and try to remember, what is it we're supposed to do here? What should I do? And the first thing, remain calm, collect yourself, say, okay, let's just go from step one. And we'll take each step one at a time, very slowly, methodically, and people will be safe. And that's how we do it. So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions for other classes, but also for this, suggestions for, maybe, this is, put together by local police departments, but things are always changing and being added. So if there's anything you can think of, please let me know, and we'll get it added to this. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Bye.